So I was today years old when I learned that black people being free doesn't make white folks happy. Now, let me cook. This is what it meant. You've heard white people say that, oh, Trump should bring back segregation. You've also heard white people say that Trump should roll back slavery. Of course, these things are close to impossible today. But it is not about the possibility. It's about the thinking. It's about the psychology of all these folks. And that proves to us how these people think and how these people see black people. First, they see black folks as a commodity. They see black folks as something that is easily usable and then later on disposable. Something that you use and later on dispose. And that shows you something. This all reveals the black fears. And what is black fear? What is white fear? That is what I was trying to say. What is white fear? White fear is that we add thousands of years of head start. But today we are seeing black people taking up spaces that we are supposed to be taking. And I didn't forget to mention that the difficulties that black folks were going through, today white folks are also going through them. So at the back of their mind, they think that they are going through all these challenges because black people are free. So the back of the mind, they think that if black people go back to slavery, it will solve majority of their problems. Let me take you back to what happened in 1886 during the Back Homes Rebellion. The elites played white folks. And then they ended up hating black people for nothing. But at the end of the day, the elites were playing the game. In the year 2025, Trump revealed everything. And Trump revealed that the elites, and because he's making America to crumble so much easily than expected. So this tells us how all these folks think about. Brothers and sisters, I want us to watch this video. And then I'll be back. I'll be sharing my thoughts in regards to this. So let's get into it.
I'm going to say it like this. In my opinion, man should have never abolished. Because once they were free, look how much this shit's gotten out of hand.
Let's come back tomorrow. Well, they don't want us in their little areas and all that shit. Ain't that funny? Don't want us in their neighborhood. When they own us, we was in their house. Kind of that. Oh, I can't come in the neighborhood, but when you own me, I was warming up your bed. Now there's something wrong with this picture. When they own us, we had 12 and 14 jobs. Now that we free, I'm so sorry, there's no jobs. Mad because we got away. Let slavery come back in the mall. They'll be on that porch. Welcome home.
That's cute. Now go take to the hood and go express that, sir. Don't do this behind a phone. Don't do this in a safe place. No, I'm gonna need you to go take your ass deep into the hood where it's predominantly black people, and I want you to go say that right in front of them.
Paul Mooney said it best. I'm gonna tell you why white folks are mad. White folks are mad because got away. Got away. Got away. It's because they don't have slaves anymore. He goes, when we was free, we didn't have no jobs. When we were slaves, we had 12 jobs. He said, imagine if slavery was to come back, they'd be like, oh, welcome home.
Welcome back.
The institution of slavery is not inherently evil. I know. Some of you guys are upset by that. Some of you guys are saying, I've been saying that for years. Okay, I'll take it a step further. It is not inherently evil to own another human being.
The white man ended slavery. But yet we're blamed for what happened to them when their own people are the ones that sold them into slavery. We should have never ended it. We should have kept slavery of the black people. I may get a lot of hate for saying this, but that's what I say. I say we should have never ended slavery. Because now these motherfuckers got too much power. And they're blatantly racist against the white people. Well, I'll tell you, I think it's time the white people start being racist against them. And we bring back slavery. How about that? Have a good day.
Now, hang on a minute.
Hey, Hey, what's up, fuckers? This Buckshot here, 405 on Tuesday afternoon. That video I made Saturday about bringing slavery back, that motherfucker's almost to 25,000 views, y'all. And a lot of people agree with it, man. They're leaving comments, but a lot of them don't. And they leaving some dumbass comments, calling me names, and all this. And all I was doing was expressing my opinion and my thoughts about this, of what should be done to do something about this issue with their community. Everybody on here talk about bring you back, blah, blah, blah. Once you bring you back, calling me names and all. Why? Because I spoke my mind? Because y'all know I'm right? Because I'm speaking the truth? Because the black community, some ratchet ass, no good ass people that's incompetent. They're inconsiderate, they're rude, they have no respect, they have no morals. I'm not saying all the black people, but the majority of them. This thug mentality and this ratchet ass behavior mentality, those are the ones I'm talking about. And then I got people on there leaving comments and shit. Man, come on, why? That just proves my point right there. What y'all are doing proves my motherfucking point why we should bring back segregation and slavery. You're proving my fucking point for me, people, by leaving the dumbass comments y'all leave on that video. I mean, incompetence right there, people. Come on. Anyway.
Okay, so clearly English is a second language for this guy. I'm thinking hillbilly is his first language, but he doesn't want to be blamed for owning slaves because somebody else sold him those slaves, or the white people shouldn't be blamed. And he doesn't understand why people would leave comments that are negative towards him when his desire is to own other people. So right away, you understand we're not dealing with the sharpest cheese in the fridge. Now, you said the black community is ratchet. My man, what's more ratchet than the inside of your fucking car?
Hey, what's up? It's Buckshot here again. Just to tell y'all, thank y'all so much. That video I made Saturday about bringing back slavery has hit 10,000 fucking views, y'all.
I mean, what the fuck is going on there, man? The ceiling of your car looks like the ceiling of a room that a serial killer uses to sew together the pieces of skin from his various victims. Dude. And if I could be so blunt, even if slavery was brought back, you would be the last motherfucker to own a slave. You look like you barely own underwear.
Some of y'all are going to mess around and seriously end up getting hurt. I think you might want to chill. I can promise you, you'll be 6 feet deep before any of us become your slave, or anyone else's for that matter.
In my opinion, the white man should have never ended slavery.
Just to be clear, there is a one black person in North America that is shocked by the, I don't know, racist political views of that MAGA Republican. Not one. However, we're almost all shocked by how many black people agree with him. Those Sambos, we don't quite get them. We don't.
The real reason white people want to erase the history of slavery is because given the chance, they would absolutely do it again. While not all of us subscribe to this system, a lot do. That's why they like our current president, because he consistently, without fail, reinforces the hierarchy of white people on top, followed by everybody else. Of native citizens on top, followed by everybody else. I consider white supremacy to be one of the most dangerous domestic threats in the United States. Because if you didn't know, there are estimated this many active members in white supremacist organizations. People like your pastor, your neighbor, maybe someone you've seen giving looks to people of color, but not necessarily saying anything. White people try to downplay the effects of white supremacy, but it's significantly more people than they will admit. And those are just the people who are overtly racist and willing to label themselves as part of this organization, not even the other people who genuinely believe in it without speaking on it. Point being, erasing the history of slavery and erasing the horrible atrocities that happened in this country is a genuine crime. And it's intentional, because if it's erased, those patterns are going to repeat themselves. So erasing this history isn't just ignorant, it's malicious.
More divided now than it was when Martin Luther King marched when I was a kid. The Civil War was something that no one could do anything about, because the whites, quote unquote, whites from the South, are not the only ones that had slaves. Slaves are all over the world. Slaves still exist today.
Do you think there's a direct effect from slavery to how Black Americans are able to live today?
No, I don't. They have a chance to learn. They live in the best country in the world. If they open their eyes and listen, instead of just focusing on their little area and people that they hang out with, they would learn a lot.
But from what you said, it sounds like you were born before the civil rights movement.
Oh, yeah.
So Black people couldn't buy houses in your lifetime when you were maybe a
I'm
baby.
well aware of that.
You were 5. So you don't think there's any downstream effect?
I felt oppressed at that time.
Yeah.
But that's what Martin was trying to correct. Right now, I see so many people living off the government handout.
I'm pretty sure welfare use per capita is higher in red states than blue states.
Yes, but there's so many people living off of the government handouts, and that is not that much farther away from slavery. When they were a slave, they were given housing, food, clothing, medical care. The people asked them to work. Yes, there were landowners that were violent and mean to some of them, but there were others that were humanistic.
Everyone in the state wants something? Go ahead and have it. So if everyone in Alabama wanted slavery back, you'd be okay with that? Sure. If everyone in the state wants it, go ahead. What do I give a shit?
What do you give a shit? Hi, Amanda. Jasmine here. I just have a quick question. What would you do if me and you were on the same plane and we just happened to be sitting next to each other? What would you do if me and you just happened to be in the same vicinity? What would you do if we were in the same Starbucks line and I was right in front of you? Or I was behind you and you turned around? Would you be startled? Would you grab your purse and hold it close to your body and try to scurry the other way? You said that your boyfriend manages your career, right? Which means that you have fans, people that follow you, right? And I'm pretty sure you're on this large podcast, so that means you have a large following. And that, I'm pretty sure, means that you do not know everyone who follows you, right? So, what would you do if I was one of your followers? Now, let's be real. I would never actually follow somebody like you, but what would you do if I did and you met me?
I feel like when things like this come out, a lot of people will look at someone like her and say, oh my God, she's crazy. I can't believe she said that. That's like one person, like who would think like that? It's like, no. A lot of people feel that way. Maybe wouldn't be so bold as to say it on a public platform, and maybe wouldn't take it to the extreme that she did of the return of actual slavery. But a lot of people have those underlying opinions. That kind of racist indifference is so dangerous because it's not as quickly identified. And when you have indifference to that extent, it is racist. Especially crazy against the backdrop of there being attacks against DEI in this country, right? People don't want to teach slavery in schools. Whole time there are people out here saying they don't mind if it's brought back. Excuse me? People arguing about the validity or the fairness of affirmative action. Meanwhile, the first Black child to integrate all white schools is still alive. There was a KKK rally down the street in the town that I grew up in a couple of years ago. Just in broad daylight, walking down the street. I'm like, what? Really, she just said the quiet part out loud. Really, that's like, there's so many people who feel very similarly to her. And sometimes, like, hearing things like this, it's just a reminder that there are people who really, truly don't care about you and don't care about anyone who just doesn't look like them. And that's just what it is.
White people think they're better than Black people, and they want to oppress us, and they want us to allow ourselves to be oppressed.
This is the I agree with you perfectly. This is the basic problem.
Then what do you
That
want to
white
talk to me
people
about?
think they're better
What's it
than
that I can
others.
do? I can't solve the problem. You guys pull the strings that close schools. You guys draw the boundaries that keep our kids restricted to the ghetto. You guys write up the restrictive covenants that keep us out of houses. So it's up to you to talk to your brothers and your sisters and persuade them that they have a responsibility. We've assumed ours for over 400 years, and we're tired of this kind of stuff now. We're not going to suffer patiently anymore. No more turning the other cheek. No more blessing our enemies. No more praying for those who despitefully use us. We're going to show you that we've learned the lessons you've taught us. We've studied your history, and you did not take over this country by singing "We Shall Overcome." You did not gain control of the world like you have it now by dealing fairly with a man and keeping your word. You're treaty breakers, you're liars, you're thieves, you rape entire continents and
Our digital PDF, Black History Facts You Probably Didn't Learn in School, is full of black stories and facts that aren't usually taught in school. The PDF includes information that is often overlooked in traditional education and history books. The digital PDF can be downloaded and read at your convenience. You don't want to miss out on the chance to uncover the untold black history facts and stories. Click the link in our bio to support BHU.
Did you see this video? This white girl saying that if everybody in the state wanted to bring back enslavement, that they should be allowed to do it. I am not making that up. Listen.
That's fine. I think if everyone in the state wants something, go ahead and have it.
So if everyone in Alabama wanted slavery back, you'd be okay with that?
Sure. If everyone in the state wants it, go ahead. What do I give a
All right, let's go next topic. I'm getting nervous. I just want to clarify.
Yeah.
You understand that that was the same argument that the Confederacy upheld, right? So do you wish that the Confederacy won the war because according to your worldview, the Union impeded upon the state's ability to
No, but it's an irrelevant argument.
No, so you're glad that the Union won?
Like, I'm not some, psychopath. I live in LA. I'm not some crazy right-wing person.
So now you're saying it's
But if
psychotic to
everyone
say
in the
that.
state wants something, sure, let them have it.
You agree with the Confederacy? No. But the Articles of the Confederation. All right, we have to move on. We got limited time here.
These gotcha moments don't work on me. I'm not a...
How is that a got you moment? He threw you a softball. He said if the states wanted to bring back enslavement, would you be okay with it? And you said, yeah, if the states want it. And to say you're not some far right nut because you live in LA, white supremacists live everywhere in this world. And this white supremacist was Emily Wilson. And look, I'm not going to take this moment to try and educate on how what she said was racist or why it's wrong to want to bring back enslavement, or how she's talking from a place of white privilege because she thinks that any kind of laws that are passed under the Trump administration are mostly going to hurt people of color and she'll be okay. She's speaking from a place of white supremacy. And what's even scarier is that her vision of the world, their vision of the world, could actually become a reality. It is unbelievable that we live in a world where white supremacists are actually closer to doing mass deportations or bringing back enslavement if they wanted to than we are giving people universal health care. I don't know what we need to do to change the world we live in, but I am tired of living in a world where, again, their white supremacy vision is more of a possibility of a reality than the freedoms we deserve.
Okay, yes, but let me add a little bit to this. So I learned a while ago, that even the concept of whiteness and blackness and racism itself was invented by the white elite. They wanted to give the poor white people someone else to hate besides them because they knew that if the poor white people and the poor black people joined forces, they could overthrow the rich white elite like that. Which is also still true today, incidentally. That's one of the main pillars that holds up our systemic racism. But I digress. Let me continue on my original thought. So the poor white people were quite literally manipulated into hating black people. And that was hundreds and hundreds of years ago, but they passed that hatred on down through the generations. Just think about how sad that is. Anyway, so here we are today with a large number of poor white people who actually worship a white, orange man who pretends to be rich. To the point where they Ignore the treason and the SA and the ignorance, all of it. Because at least they're still better than the poor black people. And that's what it all comes down to.
Listen to this, y'all.
To get farm workforce and service sector workforce. And I think you've discussed somehow a program of people leaving on a sponsorship and coming right back. Can you give us a little more detail about that and why, in the view of some hardliners, it's not amnesty?
Take care of our farmers and hotel workers and various other people, and we're working on it right now, and Ron's going to be involved, and you're involved already. So we have a case, a lot of cases where ICE will go into a farm, and these are guys working there for 10, 15 years, no problem. The farmers know them. We're going to put, it's called farmer responsibility or owner responsibility, where they're going to be largely responsible for these people. And they know these people. They've worked on the farms for 15 years, and all of a sudden, so I have a great, Ron does, Christy does, we have a great feeling for the farmer and for others in the same position. And we're going to give them responsibility for people. And we're going to have a system of signing them up so they don't have to go. They can be here legally. They can pay taxes and everything else. They're not getting citizenship, but they get other things. And the farmers need them to do the work. Without those people, you're not going to be able to run your farm.
Now, a while ago, I said that man was trying to bring back slavery, and y'all told me I was tripping. What that sound like to y'all? He said owner responsibility. Whoop. So them people, they gonna own the people that work on the farm, is what he just said. Y'all ain't hear what I heard? Look me in my face and tell me you ain't hear what that man just said. Tell me I'm tripping, tell me I'm lying. Tell me, cause ain't no way he just said that. Ain't no way he... Next, y'all, and hear me when I say this. You see how the farms is gonna have owner responsibility? These jobs are gonna have owner responsibility. Mark my words, y'all. Watch it.
A lot of people don't realize that Mississippi didn't abolish slavery till 2013. That was 13 years ago. Nerve of people to constantly tell me, well, Hersey, I wasn't raised to see color and things of that nature. Well, I'm so happy, baby doll, you was able to live in a world full of ignorant bliss, rainbows and sunshine. But here in the real world, my people was being judged off their skin color, hair texture, names was being called ghetto, and applications being denied when they had to come up with these ghetto names in order to identify their loved ones on different plantations, because your ancestors, you know, lazy ass was just too goddamn hard working that they had to go and pillage and motherfucking kidnap, you know, and assault nothing but black people in order to get them to work the motherfucking fields and things of that nature. And, you know, and I'm so fucking sorry that you don't see motherfucking color and things of that nature. So no, you know, I'm not going to allow my people to forget there's still a fucking goal. You know, Jim Crow era and segregation in 1969 wasn't that long ago from 2026. I want y'all and I need y'all to believe that. Also, you know, shout out to Dr. Carter G. Woodson, who created and invented Black History Month. But I'm going to have to disagree with you, sir. My Black history is every day. So that's 365.
Don't get paid to do your job. You get paid not to riot. They pay you just before riot.
Yes, but
if they paid you any less, you'd riot, and they know that. So they're like, because you got to remember, especially in the U.S., we did have slavery, and they've slowly been trying to get back. As soon as they lost it, they were like, "That was some good stuff. That's crazy."
Black America, they want to bring slavery back. I just was listening to a Christian nationalist on a podcast who was saying that slavery is not inherently evil. It is biblical, and that Christians need to defend slavery. They want us as slaves again. What are we going to do? I mean, technically we still have slavery in the prison system. So I don't know if they're just going to amp that up, right? Come up with more ways to lock people up to make them slaves. In the prison system, right? We've seen the criminalizing of homelessness, for example. Or I don't know if they're trying to go old-fashioned plantation. Just 50, 60, 100 of us working a field. I'm a little scared, I'm not going to lie. Let me know how you feel. I feel like I would just want to be unalived. I would just be like, just unalive me. It's like, no. I can't and I won't. But again, who knows what I would do if my situation was dire. maybe I would end up just feeling defeated and accept being a slave again. Let me know what you think. This is just a wild thought I'm thinking. Bye.
The problem that we have in white America is that most white people, when they hear about white racism, most white people say, man, that's not me. I never discriminated against anybody. Never did. In their sense of what discrimination means or what racism is, they may be right. But they sit residing in a system from which they take full benefit, a system that defines them in and defines black people out. We are going to have to face the fact that we are not a community. A community is where a lot of people develop mutually beneficial relationships with each other. And our racist institutions and the political boundaries of our cities define black people out of the community. White people sit in their suburban homes and watch your television programs and hear about all of these laws that are being passed. Many of them are beginning to wonder, what is it with those colored people on there? Why are they so upset? All this wonderful stuff that we're doing for them. But we aren't focusing on the black man living on the block. He lives in a two-flat on that block. And he knows what the circumstance on that block was 10 years ago. And he knows what it is today. And he, too, has heard about all of those programs and laws being passed. But the hard fact of the matter is that things are not changing for him. It's no wonder that the white population and the black population are pitted against each other when the black man knows that the change is not coming and the white man thinks that major efforts are being undertaken when they are not. So I don't think anybody should be surprised when one sees the black people in an open attack on the system, because I suspect that they don't see that there is any other realistic alternative.
The institution of slavery is not inherently evil. I know. Some of you guys are upset by that. Some of you guys are saying, I've been saying that for years. Okay, I'll take it a step further. It is not inherently evil to own another human being.
Man, if you don't shut your 70s porn mustache having ass up looking like Jim Carrey from Me, Myself, and Irene. Do you know who this dude is? Besides being a certified mark-ass buster, he's also Pete Hegseth's pastor. And then there's this MAGA man of God, Joel Webbin.
Because here's the deal. It's like, well, with slavery, the richest black people on God's green earth are African Americans. If slavery never happened, then you would be in a grass hut. Yeah. Right? Well, we need reparations. Your reparations are that you get to live in America. You're welcome. You're welcome.
You get to have the Christian religion.
That's
live
right.
better than your ancestors.
The greatest moment in history for any brown or black country is the moment that the white man's ships arrive on your shore.
See, you the type of pastor to get caught with child porn, looking like Stan's dad from South Park. See, this is the problem with folks like this. They know of black people, but you don't know black people. And if you know any black people, it must be them Turning Point USA user-friendly kind of Negroes. Talking about we was blessed when you showed up. Oh yeah, we certainly were. So blessed to get your rat-trapped, smallpox-infested, lice-ridden ships on our shores. Our reparations is living in America? That's like saying that a woman should be happy because she's beaten, raped, and abused by a rich guy. Talking about, well, it's better off than was in Africa. Fool, that's like you telling that lady it's better off than you were at your mother's house, knowing that you burnt the mother's house to the ground and then looted it and then talking about, look at all you got here. Let me tell you something. I went to Africa earlier this year and there are still people living in huts. And they happier than we are because they don't got to deal with you. And speaking of Africa, why did this master race that you're a part of go all the way to Africa to steal people to get out of the work of building your own empire? You're going to call us lazy. If you put us back in slavery, you got to let that lazy argument go. Enslaving black folks? was the greatest vote of confidence in our abilities, because you believed in our ability to build this more than yours. If you listen to the rest of that interview, dude is a quote race realist, that it's not a social construct. Race is a hard biological fact and black folks are just inferior. And I'm like, really? Cool. Why all the sabotage then? Like, if we were naturally inferior, you could give us the very best conditions and we would not succeed. But you don't have to pass laws to stop monkeys from reading, because they can't. You don't have to lynch dogs out of economically competing with you, because they can't. The people who invented white supremacy knew it was a lie. Violence was the only thing you were actually superior at. And that violence is why you relapsing into this open-faced white supremacy now, because realistically, and my boy Jay English broke this down to me, white supremacists are like a hit artist that is falling off and they're looking for why they were great. We got to get back on top because we're losing it. So what did we do before? Oh, we had slavery. We had Jim Crow apartheid, but you'll never get it back. You see, they know they're losing the demographic war that they set up. And then they know that globally speaking, the whole West is falling off. BRICS is about to surround them and they can't defeat China and Russia militarily. It's a wrap. So flags at half staff, buddy. That supremacist shit is over. Do you really want to play with slavery, man? Like, that is a crime akin to genocide. Do you think you're more determined to put us in chains than we are to stay out of chains? You understand what slavery actually is? I don't think it's all mint juleps and southern hospitality and Negroes singing in fields. No, slavery was cannibalism. It was turning our skin into shoes. It was cutting off our hair and stuffing couches with it. It was literally raping us until we had new skin colors. It was you boiling us in vats of sugar to punish us for insurrection. Slavery didn't last so long because of our cowardice. It lasted so long because of your subhuman, inhumane cruelty. All that, and we still resisted. Like, do you realize how many slave masters we actually poisoned? Do you realize that insurance companies in Europe were formed just to protect ships from slave revolts? Do you realize that Nat Turner and Haiti and Jamaica were not rare? Slavery always been dangerous. Thomas Jefferson even said it. He said, listen, slavery is like holding a wolf by the ears. You cannot hold on and you scarcely can let him go. Harming us is dangerous. And this was before we had the Second Amendment and was knocking y'all bigots out, sending y'all on Jet 2 holidays left and right. But you stuck on slavery and racism while the world is moving on. You got cities that look like the Jetsons in Asia right now. Talking about Africa, Rwanda got flying cars and Ben had drone delivery service, and the American dream lives well all over the world but here. But since you bigots are into the Bible, I got a little scripture for you. Ezekiel 25:17. You remember this?
I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
Or you could just repent and be a decent human being. The choice is yours. Spread the word.
And this push for AI labor in America will make a lot of sense when you realize America has not really progressed or found a way to be more profitable than they were when they didn't have to pay their entire workforce. You guys have to realize we're living in a country that financed itself off the backs of enslaved people. So as soon as they had to pay the working class, it was money being lost in that. And there hasn't been a great recovery since. In fact, many of the institutions that are still making money have done so because they got their start in times of enslavement or no workers' rights. So now on the back end of that, we're now seeing when we did form a workforce, we were trained to be like computers. And now all of that training that we took on, being proficient in Microsoft Excel and all these different computer systems, is now being used to train the computers to do the work that we learned to do to try to mimic them. This is because they've always been trying to return to a free workforce. I'd rather have a computer I don't have to buy and is a one-time purchase similar to an enslaved person, rather than having a worker that I have to keep on a salary and a payroll. If anything, this model that is new reflects actually the old model and the most dependent on way of doing things in this country.
Why would I pay someone when I can dehumanize something and not have to pay it? And when you take into account that they've built a whole government, a whole country, a whole world superpower off of this, they're not going to be quick to run away from it. We can't even get rid of racism. And the reason we can't get rid of certain things is because they're highly profitable, and highly profitable things shape the norms of a society. If you go to societies that weren't built off the backs of slavery, the first thing they will say about Americans is you work too much. Even with pay, we are still enslaved because that is the model by which our country is built on and founded on. Capitalism only works if somebody is being exploited. When you take away the need of somebody and put something is being exploited, it is golden. And now they have furthered us from our own exploitation. So even our grounds and collectivizing around trying to speak out on our exploitation has become that much more complex. Now we have to speak out on environmental racism, the exploitation of natural resources of communities like water, to companies that no longer seek to even hire us or have humans working for them. The AI model is a perfect enslavement model. And in a society that built their entire reality from enslavement and the institutions that were able to continue from it, things like insurance, things that we are financially enslaved to and expected to pay monthly on, had its groundings in the institution that was slavery. So we are still forced to be operatives in the long-lasting shadows from what has built this nation, while not even being entitled to a chance to earn the capital that is necessary to not be criminalized for not being able to afford the expenses of what it now takes to exist in the society without enslavement, all while we're being diminished in our workforce and diminished in our value as human, so they can then come around and then continue and return back to the enslavement of living bodied people, because work and avenues to survival will become so slim that things that we would once consider even enslavement in the modern American society now become something that is appealing, seems justifiable, and actually will be coveted. A few years ago, people might not have jumped at the opportunity to live in a work town where your job is tied to your housing. But 10 years from now, that could be a very appealing thing that people are aspiring to be a part of. People will then want to be in enslavement because they've enslaved now technology that is dwindling our resources and devaluing our own human labor to the point that we seek our own exploitation. And as a Black American, I see this cycle at play, and I can't help.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching this video. Again, I'm your host and presenter Generic Stories. Like I usually tell you, we have already seen how these people think, right? And it is so sad to them that it didn't go the way they ever planned. They wanted to retain their supremacy. Now, the fact that everything is going wrong to them, now that Trump has acted as the catalyst for the fall of the United States, the blame is being shifted back to Black folks. Yet Black people are trying to remind you that, remember, you are the ones who chose Mr. Donald Trump. We tried to warn you, but you didn't listen. We tried to tell you that all these things was going to happen, but you didn't listen. But right now, what you're seeing is happening is as a result of the choices that you made. These got nothing to do with Black people. You need to deal with your insecurities. That's what you need to deal with. You need to find a way of dealing with your insecurities. We have seen white fear manifest in so many things. When Black people try to study Black history, what does Trump say? Trump say that people are learning dangerous information. That's Black history. People are learning divisive. People are doing divisive politics because Black people are trying to get their roots. Black people are trying to understand the truth of everything. And to them, this is problematic. To them, they don't want Black people to have this. Right? So, brothers and sisters, I honestly don't really know what to think about this. But at least for so many times, white folks have proven that how many times black people try the allyship with them, it will always be so much hard to deal with them, right? And this has been proven for so many times. We have seen how all these people think. We have seen how they view black folks. They always wanted black people to be in the same exact spot that they were in 3,000 years later, when they were in chains, when they were used as a commodity, when they were seen as something that can be used and later on get disposed. That's how they ever wanted black people. But at the end of the day, and the truth of the matter is that you can never take black people to where they are, because in fact, when you want slavery to come back, it can never come back, because you are dependent on black folks. And even the US Constitution cannot allow slavery to come back. You can try different forms of modern slavery that you can get away with, but that type of slavery, the traditional one, you cannot do that to black folks. It cannot happen, because the truth of the matter is that this time you cannot intimidate black folks. That can never happen. And I'll tell you that as a matter of fact, you can never intimidate black folks. So brothers and sisters, please let me know what you all think about this. As you know, I'm your host and presenter Unique Stories, but until then, let me see you on my next video. Until then, peace, love, and harmony. Salute.